Hello, one and all. We're Jose and Call. You're watching Talking Ball. Very nice to have you here. I'm glad that you were able to join us today. If you're watching this live, big thumbs up. If you're watching it on the recording, big thumbs up. Just make sure, if you could, that you please hit the like, you hit the subscribe if you haven't. But yeah, we're here to, as always, bring you our views and news about Tottenham Hotspur, the team that we all love. And yeah, we've already got some fine people joining us in the comments, and by some I mean one. We've got Chris Peters, one of our Patreon members, Chris Peters, and Chris saying afternoon, Colin and Jose, looking forward to the show, mate. I am looking forward to the show as well. Excited to hear what my man over here, Jose, has to say. Something tells me there is a bit of a, I don't want to say rant. Rant is the wrong word, but you're a little fired up from what I understand. Is that? Oh, he's got to finish the latte. This is going to be a big one, guys. All that caffeine straight to the brain.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Colin.
Good afternoon, sir. Sorry that the match yesterday went the way that it did. It was a killer. Got up at 5 a.m. to watch it, and it's definitely worse for some other people in the country. But we got up at 5 a.m. And then I thought we were at least going to scrape a point, and then that happened. But again, plenty to talk about. Tell me
what your thoughts are. I think it's better to start with you.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that we had a depleted squad. We knew the squad that we were going in with was not one that we'd ever planned on starting all together for a match, right? I think that's pretty obvious. I don't think that we had ever envisioned that exact bunch of characters starting a match together. But again, like you always say, we knew the players that we had on the roster for, until January, until it could be changed. So I guess we knew there was a chance that we could see these guys, like all playing at the same time. But yeah, I would say about the 30th minute, I noticed a significant drop off in our quality. I'm not sure if that is because we thought we'd had the game won. We thought we'd already won the match. If everyone just kind of took their foot off the gas, but it was the first time I've seen that type of thing, really, at least to that extent in Big Ange's tenure. Usually he's got us, putting the boot to the throat of whoever we're playing, even if it's late on in the match, even if we're ahead, even if, we've got a 1-goal lead. We still have, keep the foot on the gas, go for the second, go for the kill. And it seemed like I distinctly remember right about the 30th minute, it just seemed like the effort dropped. Like everybody had assumed that we had won the match already is the vibe that I got. And again, I had to sail the 7 seas to find a stream yesterday. So I rewatched the second half today to make sure that I was up to date on that. I didn't see like when the subs came in yesterday. I was switching streams during that moment. And so I missed part of, the subs and their game. But yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't pretty. And we should have at the very least, got a point out of that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm sure that when you say things, it'll jog my memory and bring points back up. But I mean, yeah, it's really enormous shame that we didn't get at least 1 point. I'm tired of these goals and injury time. We held on for so long. I don't know. It's very frustrating, and kind of leads me to our question that I titled the video this, but everyone in the chat watching too. And would you say that the boys let Ange down? I would say some of the starters, maybe, some of the guys that we rely on week in, week out, offensively, perhaps might have let Ange down. Again, I'm just really excited. You've been cooking this for like a day, Jose, letting me know how you feel about the match, but I'm really excited to hear your position.
Well, I was spitting blood yesterday, as you're well aware, because you was on Mia's stream, and at the end of the day, you can only type 200 words in each comment you put in, and I gave up in the end and said, look, I've had enough, and that's it. Right. So let me start from the beginning. I think you were very, very, very kind, Colin, in giving the team half an hour. I gave the team 3.5 minutes.
I think right after his goal, right after Brennan's goal,
That was it. That's the only football we played was 3.5 minutes, and that was it. We didn't play any more football after that. 3.5 minutes was all we did. Now, I watched that game, and it reminded me of the last 4 years of Tottenham.
Yeah.
It's as simple as. There was no other way of looking at it. The first 3.5 minutes reminded me of the new dawn that we've got this season. And then after 3.5 minutes, it was the last 4 years of Tottenham. We had a lot of the new players weren't playing yesterday because obviously through injuries or suspensions. So it came back to the team and the players that we've had from years gone by. Yeah? Now,
Agreed. Yep.
At the end of the day, the only person that they let down was themselves and the fans. The players let themselves down, they let the fans down, they let the managers down. The players are just not good enough. I've been very quiet because I didn't want to be one of these doom and gloom merchants. So I haven't really proclaimed and said much on the channel and on any other channel. I've tried to be as positive as possible. I've not gone out all out saying that we're going to win the league, but I've been very positive. And I've always tried to look on the bright side of things for anything. I said on Friday, for my prediction on Friday, I said, in adversity, one door closes, another one opens. In adversity, with our backs up against the wall, we would put in the best performance so far this year, in the sense that we play football for the whole 90 minutes, not just one half or the first half or the second half or in patches, but a more sustained period. I also then asked for even 60 minutes is a good start because we've only done 45 in the past.
Right.
Well, we got 3.5 minutes. What a letdown that was. All we got was 3.5 minutes. Soon as we scored that goal, I don't know what happened. But all I will say is I've had my reservations about certain players and I kept my mouth shut because I wanted to be positive. Yesterday, the games are won and lost in midfield. Yesterday, in my comment in the stream that you were on, post-match on Mia's channel, I put down there, it was Tottenham's back five versus the whole of Wolves. Because our front six was shit. They were anonymous. Right? So it starts with the midfield. The midfield reminded me of the time when we played with Mourinho and with Conte and with Nuno. No progressiveness in the three midfielders we had yesterday at all. They were back passing, they were square passing, but nothing was going forward. They weren't playing in between the lines or anything at all. And this is going back to the patterns of play that we had previously for the last 4 years. And it appears that the patterns of play coming yesterday. Now, I know that Postecoglou is not teaching them these patterns of play. So it must be the players. The players within themselves have reverted back to that type and played that way. So that then means to me, Bissouma, Sarr, and Højbjerg they're not good enough for this team because they cannot play progressive football. We haven't had a 90-minute performance from any of the teams so far, and the way they played yesterday, going back 4 years, we regressed yesterday in the way we played. And Ange Postecoglou has said all along, I believe in the boys, but they don't believe in themselves. And what would happen if they did believe in themselves? Well, that's what we've been waiting for. And they don't believe in themselves. They cannot play the football that we want. And to me, we've still got far too many players in the squad that are from the last 4 years and longer, some of them, and we need to get rid of them. Right. Let me go to the forwards. Son Heung-min. I jumped on the bandwagon. I've been very positive about the man. Son Heung-min scores goals at the best of times. Other than that, he offers nothing whatsoever to the team.
Agreed.
I said at the start of the season, or even last season, I said we should have sold him back in November, just before the World Cup. I was saying then we should sell. Liverpool wanted him. I said, let's take the 70 million and sell Son and reinvest in new players. Yesterday, Son did nothing. Son did nothing at all. What did Son do? Nothing. What does he do as a captain? Did you see him trying to rout the troops or anything like that? I saw absolutely nothing from the man yesterday. Okay, he scores his goals when given the opportunity in the box 6 yards out. Fantastic. But if you're not got midfielders to create here, then you've got to take the game by the scruff of the neck. Did he take the game by the scruff of the neck? All these people out there saying he's world class. He's world class. And I'm thinking to myself, he ain't world class. Because if he was world class, he'd take that by the scruff of the neck and grab the game by the balls that he needed. He did neither. Kulusevski, first I'd say I'm going to give Kulusevski first 15 minutes. First 15 minutes, he tried, and the ball went down his side. It went down the right all the time.
Mm-hmm. Which was strange, I thought. Why are we always pushing down that side? But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Well, we did it for 15 minutes, and we looked all right for 15 minutes. After that, we stopped feeding the ball to Kulusevski. We stopped playing down the right-hand side, and we went to Brennan. Brennan was good because he was picking the ball up, but he was picking the ball up and he weren't going past the player. Brennan was just passing the ball back. He was coming back with the ball, passing it back to, what's his name? Emerson Royale, because Emerson Royale was left back, or he was passing it back to Sarr, because Sarr, for some reason, was playing all on the left yesterday. So every time Brennan got the ball, instead of running past players, he just passed the ball directly back. So,
I noticed that Sarr found himself really high up the pitch too for a player of his position a lot of times too. He was very frequently one of our highest players up the pitch, which I thought was strange given that he's not a winger, that he's not a forward of any variety.
Right, so I've just seen a comment here from Rakesh. Rakesh, if you hear what I've just said, right, I've just said that I didn't want to be a doom and gloom and negative, so I've been positive about the team all the way through. Although these are the thoughts that I've had in the back of my mind, right? Tell me what Sonny did yesterday. It's not about one game only. What does Sonny do? How does he galvanise the team? How is Sonny world class? He doesn't take the game by the scruff of the neck. He did not do anything for the players at all. He didn't cajole them. He didn't try and get them all up and running. You know, at the end of the day, I failed to understand what Sonny offered yesterday and what he offers in games. He scores goals from time to time, but he's a captain, and the captain should be railing the troops. And he didn't do none of that yesterday at all. So it's not about just one game. It's a pattern, and it's something that I've thought of me for a while. I don't think Sonny is anywhere near the player that he was up until the season where he scored. He won the Golden Boot. Last season, it's a shadow. This season, I think it's a shadow as well. He will score goals in the 6-yard box, but he doesn't run at players. He doesn't take players on. He does none of this. All the stuff that Sonny used to, he doesn't do. He hasn't done it for 18 months. Yes, he scored the goals. They've been teed up on a plate from the 6-yard box. And if we could do that, i.e. we get the ball from midfield to the attackers, and we do it, then brilliant. How did we score our goal yesterday? I'll tell you that. How did we score the goal yesterday? Was it Pedro Porro that fed the ball going past the player? How long have I been saying we need to change up what we do and we need to go past players? Yesterday, it was a lovely ball from Kulu from the back heel, but it meant that we've got someone that's got past and he put it in with his right foot. He put it in nice and low with his right foot. Brennan scores. That's the way that Postecoglou Celtic played last year, getting past players. At the end of the day, to me, we were shocking poor. A reminder of where we were the last 4 years. The midfield is just not good enough. Everyone raving about Sarr. Sarr's this, Sarr's that. I've never jumped on the bandwagon, and it's not one game either. It's now that I've seen what I wanted to say and what I wanted to say for quite a while. Sarr's young, 21 years old. Got a lot to learn. Yeah. Got a lot to learn. But Sarr did nothing. Bissouma did nothing. Got his card now out against Villa. I was looking forward to matching up Bissouma versus Douglas Luiz.
Yeah.
Now it's not going to happen because he's now got his yellow card. So bye-bye. Have another. You might as well go away for 3 weeks.
So with the international break.
Go away for your 2 weeks international break and then take a week's holiday somewhere because you're not going to be playing for us. So take a week's holiday. The only people that come out of credit with the game yesterday, much as I'd never thought I'd say this, it's the back five. The back five come out with credit. They're the only ones that played for the badge yesterday. It was 5 players. And 2 of them are players that we ridicule, laugh at, say we want them out of the club. And there's a third player there that we ridicule at times as well as a fan base, and that was Emerson. The back five played. The back five were under siege for the whole of the game. They were under siege. The midfield didn't help them out, and you always start your defending from the front. Did the three forwards help them out? They didn't help them out either. I'm absolutely, honestly, we have gone back 4 years. We went back 4 years in that one game, and I think that we haven't been playing the Ains ball that we said we would. We haven't done that because we don't play consistently enough, often enough in a game. And it's got to be the players. It can't be the manager. The manager's asking for them to do certain things. And the manager, he's as good as gold, mind you. If you see his press interviews, never throws his players under the bus, and he always defends them. But
very anti-Mourinho of him, yes.
But he must be defending them through gritted teeth because they are fucking shocking.
But I think we knew they would be. You know what I mean? We knew it would take multiple windows for him to get a team that he wanted, for him to get rid of the players that were shit under Conte and Mourinho. So I think we were just way ahead of where we needed to be. And I think, and see if you agree, but I think having Maddison in the team, who is so willing and so eager to push forward, to push the team forward, I think that has really put us where we are this season. And I think that yesterday showed without Maddison where the team lies. I thought maybe Basuma could play in that 10 role and could push us up the pitch the way that Maddison does. No way in hell.
Basuma's not a 10.
No, but I thought maybe he could. I don't know. I thought maybe we could get that role out of him for a game or two if needed. But no, definitely not. Yeah, it's just so Maddison is what we've learned. What I've learned yesterday is that Maddison is extremely important to Ange Ball, the way that we know it. You know, without him, we looked lost. He's one of those players that's just constantly him and Destiny are two players that are just constantly looking to push us up vertically up the pitch. And without those two, it definitely was not pretty. And I know those weren't the only two issues, of course, but I think those two players have helped to maybe paper over some cracks in the team and made us to look better than we really are this season. Real quick, want to get through some comments. Chris Peters likes both streams. Thank you, Chris. You're a good man. Mama Julie is saying deja vu. This game looked all too familiar. Yeah, and that's exactly what we were saying. Chris Peters is big up in Wolves. They did beat City for sure. Rakesh says we will bounce back. We better. Chris Peters also saying he would have preferred Sanchez over Dyer. Going forwards, Phillips needs to be the answer instead of Dyer. Then we've got Rakesh talking about Sonny and saying that, you know, he didn't get a single pass from a midfielder, and that is true. Our midfield didn't do hardly anything. But yeah, Rakesh, I was going to say, I don't agree that Son's low class, but I do think that he doesn't run at players anymore. That's a good point, Jose. He doesn't do that. He used to be the fact that he can't play on the wing anymore, I think should be kind of a testament to the fact that he, you know what I mean, that he can't. I mean, as a winger, you have to be able to take players on 1v1. You have to be able to run past players. And the fact that he's now ineffective on the wing, I kind of feel like says a lot about his game and where his strengths are and aren't.
But we don't have wingers. We haven't got wingers. We've got players that play wide in a three. We don't have any wingers. But the fact that none of these players seem to be able to go past the player, whether you go inside or outside, you just can't go past the player. And that's what's alarming. But as I said, to me yesterday, and I said this 2 years ago, when it was the season after you got the golden ball, right? In the first 3 months of the season, I saw Sonia decline. And it was prior to the World Cup, so it was in November, prior to the World Cup. So the World Cup was in November. Just prior to going to the World Cup, I said, Liverpool come in the win and they still won him. And they offer 70 million. We need to get rid of him now and make the money invest in the team. Obviously, you know, we didn't do that. We've invested in, we've got rid of Kane or whatever, and Kane's gone. But yeah, we need to reassert. We need to readjust. We need to pick a team. We need to pick players and a squad that are going to be Ange's, because these players quite clearly quite clearly are not Ange players. And we've not played Ange football. Contrary to what everyone thinks, we've not played Ange football. We've played it in small periods, 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. We haven't done it for 90 minutes. We haven't played Ange for 90 minutes. And I was hoping, as I said, I'm hoping this weekend, with everything that's happened to him person, backs up against the wall. As I said, I keep repeating myself Friday. One door closes, another one opens. Well, I'll tell you what, for me, the door's firmly shut on the midfield three, firmly shut on Sonny. I think I'm going to be too harsh, although I thought they were crap after 3.5 minutes. I thought they were shocking as shit, and that was Kulusevski and Johnson. They didn't get the ball from the midfield. The midfield didn't help them out, didn't give them the ball, didn't feed them. But then the midfield didn't help out the defence either. We were under siege for 90, 100 minutes of that game. Under siege. We played Ange ball for 3.5 minutes. And then after that, we didn't. It tells me that these players are not fit to play his system. And that Ange has got to use what he's got at the moment. But let's stop talking about Ange ball. These players are shit. They can't play the game. They can't play his system. Now, can't say too much because Hill and Lo Celso had such a small. They came on for the last 7 minutes or something like that. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, can't really judge them on that. But losing Maddison's creativity in unlocking and picking, then why did we bring Højbjerg in? Højbjerg regressed. Højbjerg went back to the player that he was before. And it wasn't just him. I can't repeat myself enough. Did you watch the game back, Colin? You said you were going to watch it.
I watched the second half back because I didn't get to properly watch it yesterday.
Did you see the three midfielders just back passing and passing it sideways?
Oh, yeah. Højbjerg had excited me in the past, I guess, 2 or 3 matches that he's gotten some minutes in with some of his passing from the back, kind of spraying it out long diagonally. I didn't see that yesterday. You know what I mean? It was like you say, a lot of back passing, a lot of square passing. The whole team, like Ma said, deja vu all over again. It looked like you said, like we were watching, Conte, like Conte's Tottenham lineup out there. I do wonder. I mean, so do you agree though? I know that you're pretty done with the midfielders and Sonny in general, but do you agree or think or hope even that whenever we get some of these injured players back in, that they will go back to looking decent, that we can get, that we can get a tune out of them for the rest of the season at least?
But the only midfielder we were missing yesterday is Maddison.
Yeah.
Which tells me that Sarr, Bissouma and Højbjerg are just not good enough. But I've thought this for a while, but I never thought. I thought to myself, I'm not going to jump on the train and be negative. And give these people a chance because we know that Postecoglou plays a certain way. And Postecoglou is a coach and he can improve players, right? Mm-hmm. So therefore, I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, it's just absolutely shocking that these players went back to the way that we played for the last 3 or 4 years. It was absolutely shocking.
It's like when backs are against the wall, they revert to type and revert to what's easy, and to them that's sitting back for some reason and defending with their backs against the wall. I don't see how that could be easier. I don't see how that could. To me, that sounds like hell on earth, and it dang sure is hell on earth watching it. So I can't imagine playing and attempting to play that way. It just seems, I don't know. It's real quick.
Just going to jump down quickly.
Yeah.
So, happy Diwali to you, Bobby, and to your family.
Whoa, I did not know that it was.
Happy Diwali to all of you. Enjoy your lunch. And, have a great celebration.
Yes, sir. Please do, Bobby. And big love to you. And as Jose says, to the whole fam, wish him a happy holiday from us, please. But yeah, so Bobby K is going to have a good day. Good on you, Bobby. Hope it's a great one. Hope it's a great day. But yeah, so I want to go back to some of the comments. We got through some of them, but not through all of them. Tequila was talking about how they're just going to be in both chats because they're hardcore. We appreciate you, Tequila. You're awesome. And then Tequila bigged us up and then said, I can't give Dyer credit. Like, the words cannot leave my lips. And,
sorry, did you go back? Because there's more comments going back. So
yeah. So there was. I missed a couple of Rakesh's. Yeah.
And then follow them all the way down. Got them all the way down after that.
Then we got Rakesh saying that we will bounce back. Come on, you Spurs. I believe we will as well. But maybe this shows that we're not quite as far along on the project as we thought. We thought we were way ahead of schedule. Maybe we're just on schedule.
We're not even on schedule. We're not even on schedule. We have got shit players, and the midfield that we've got, their midfield three, are not good enough. All three of them. And as I said, I've been quiet all season. I've been trying to be positive and think to myself, yeah, we'll get a tune out of them. The three that played yesterday played regressive football, not progressive.
Yeah,
regressive football.
But if they've regressed, then it means that they were better, and they've regressed from where they were. So
no.
That means their ceiling is.
No, they've regressed back to where they were before the start of the season. And
but what happened at the start of the season? Were they better?
No, before the start of the season. So Bissouma, played like the player that he played last season. Sarr played like he did last year. Højbjerg's played like he did the last 3 years. So, do you see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about regression. So, to me, yes, we do have the right manager, but we need, when it's a project, it really is a project, and we need to rebuild because them three midfield yesterday weren't good enough. Madison is good enough, but you need to bring in two players into that midfield who would play for. Look, I'm just hoping the only lifeline I can see is if fucking Bentancur gets his fitness up.
You think quickly. That one bad Bissouma match though, and you think that he's back to the same play? Like we can't ignore the good matches that he's had just because this one was absolutely shit, can we? I mean, I don't know. I've seen Bissouma look a lot better, look like the player that we picked up. I think whenever you shake up a team as much as you did, you expect them to be strong and to come out and to. I just think. I don't know. I don't know if it's game over for all these players.
It is.
But
it is. There's players that have got right. We're not going to do it in the winter, and we're not going to do it next summer. It's going to take at least 2 seasons of doing this, right?
Yeah.
But the 2 seasons of doing this, it's going to take us. So we need 4 windows out of this, right? Well, I'm going to say we need 4 more windows. Not even we need 4. We need 4 more windows. So we need winter, summer, and then winter and summer of the following season to get the squad to where we need it to be perfect for Ange. Because some of these, to put it this way, if I was Ange Postecoglou, right, Sonny's not in my squad. Within the next 2 seasons, Sonny's no longer in my squad. Neither is Kulusevski. The midfield 3 that played yesterday are no longer in my squad. Neither is Dyer, neither is Davis, neither is probably Emerson. And I'll go as far as saying neither is Porro. So the only players for me that you're keeping is Johnson, Vicario out of starting 11. The others can all go swim, man. The others can all go and find themselves other clubs within the next 2 years.
But my quick question, just real quick, and you've already answered this in a way. But so you think that we've praised, you and I both have praised Bissouma this season.
Yeah.
Do you think those were flukes? Those matches were anomalies to his normal game?
How many games we played this season? 12?
Yeah.
Okay. In 12 games, right, if he's going to be the monster that you want, how many games has he bossed out of them 12? That's what I'm going to say. I'll ask you that. How many games of them 12 has Bissouma bossed? How many games have we walked away and said he's Bossuma? Right, we all jumped on the bandwagon, Bossuma. How many games out of the 12 has Bissouma bossed the games? That's what I'm going to say,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, off the top of my head, 4.
4.
Yep. Out of 12, third of the time.
Right, so did he boss us against Wolves?
No. Absolutely not.
Did he boss us against Chelsea?
Absolutely not.
Did he boss us against Palace?
No.
Fulham?
Which I mean, so he didn't play in the cup, right? So you're talking about league Fulham, right?
Yeah, this is leagues. I'm going back to Fulham. I'm going backwards. I'm working myself backwards. Did he boss it against Luton?
He looked good against Luton.
It wasn't Luton where he got his red card.
Was it?
Possibly. I don't know. Right. Did he boss it against Liverpool?
Liverpool, no. That was a tough game. I mean, he didn't play badly. I guess what we're
right. So
what are we comparing him?
I thought against Arsenal he had a good game.
Yeah.
Burnley he had a good game. Bournemouth, I thought he was all right. Against Man United, he had a good game. And I think he may have played well against Brentford. So you're right, about 4 games. So you're talking about a third of the time that he plays well. That's not good enough. If you want to be a monster midfielder, that's not good enough.
Yeah, and I'm hoping Bentancur will help to competition is good. He knows right now that he starts, that he walks right into that midfield, and that's not good for any player. I don't think any player should have, that assurance that you're gonna play, regardless of your form, regardless of how you trained. But right now, there's no other option, and so I think that Bentancur coming back in, not only do we hope that he's better than what we have currently, but we've seen with this exact, not this exact team, but with Spurs, we've seen you bring in a player for competition, and then suddenly the other players in that position up their game, and so. Competition will be great. I can't wait to see it. But I guess I am a tiny bit hesitant to just call time on Bissouma and Sarr is my only 2 things. Especially Sarr being that he's a kid, basically. But so can I ask you? I have questions, but I don't really know how to phrase them.
I'll tell you what, catch up with the chat. Let's catch up with the chat completely, and then you can think about phrasing, right?
Perfect. So we've got Chris saying he would. Oh, sorry.
I'll go to it. You got Chris. Sorry. You got Chris saying I would have preferred Sanchez than Dyer for speed. Sadly, he's gone. Going forwards, we need foot instead of Dyer. Rakesh, no pass to all for Sonny from any midfielder. One game when Sonny becomes low class. I explained myself on that.
Yeah, you have. Yep.
So everyone, hope you're well and good and recovered after yesterday. It's the new dawn. It's a new day.
We're working on it.
You got Tequila with big up, lads.
What's up,
Rakesh, I agree. Sonny's not captain material, but without Sonny, we will be in a relegation zone. Like it or not, I think other players can step in and play. It's like without Kane, we were going to be relegated. Give Villiers a chance. Let him play down the middle. You'll get more running out of Villiers. And you get more passion out of Villiers than what you get out of Sonny. That's all I can say. Because South Americans are passionate people. And then you've got, can't give Dyer credit. We know what he said there. I'm waiting for the surgery, but this is the NHS. It's going to be a few years because this is the words can't leave his lips.
Oh, I thought you were serious. Okay, well, I'm glad that your health is good, Tequila. I was worried about you there for a second, my guy.
Then
or
you
gal.
have manager, right. We needed Lamella yesterday, is what Chris Peters is saying.
I would have thrown him in. Hell yes.
Wayne Bonner saying a manager can't work. A manager can't work as effectively as normal with the wrong tools. The squad depth should have been dealt with in the past decade or so, but hasn't been. Mistakes made by others will cost us down the line.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And you've got Chris Peters is cutting those. They love talking to each other. There we go. You've got Wayne Bonner saying Wolves deserved to win this day. They earned it. We did. We move on to the next game. I totally agree. Wolves did deserve it, but we were shit. Top Spurs, first shot on goal 2 minutes into the game, goal. We then never had another shot on target until the Celso hit the target in the 88th minute. Very poor.
Yeah, that goes exactly with what you're saying, Jose.
Tequila says we've got wide forwards or inverted wingers. They're not wide wingers. That's correct.
That's exactly what you're saying as well.
Chris Peters, this is a project. We have the right manager, but just need the right backup. Players to come in when we have injuries. January is a very important date now. Leaving needs to backhand.
And that'll be something I want to bring up. How many players do you think we need in January? But we'll talk about that in a bit.
we're not going to get what we need in January, but we need loads. This is a open heart surgery. We need loads. So hit the like button on both channels if you can. And again, if you're watching on Hotel Cockerel, I've already put it in there into that channel. But can you subscribe to Talking Ball because we are here? And if you're in Talking Ball, can you subscribe to Hotel Cockerel, please?
Please do, everyone.
Levy never has and never will. Talking about buying players or whatever. We should all know that by now. Mia's in the house. Big up, Mia.
Big up, Mia. Hope you're well.
Chris is saying, I'm sorry, Jose, with the high line we played, it was defence that let us down. Goaty was one of the biggest losses yesterday at Van der Beek. I think we've got a good first 11. I don't think we have. And our squad is like the thing with a lot of areas. I reckon we can make massive improvements on our first 11. I think we can make an improvement at right back because I'm not on the Porro bandwagon. He's better than what he was under Conte, but I don't rate him as a right back. So I think we can improve on right back. I think we can improve on the sixth position where Basuma plays. I think we can improve on where Sarr plays. I think we can improve on where Kulusevski plays. And I think we can improve where Son plays. There are loads of players that we can improve on. The players that I've just named there should be our backup players, and we should be buying players of a better ilk in them positions, and then these players become our backup players.
And then the backup players get the fudge out of here. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Then you've got, I think the yellow card hanging over this was holding him back now. It's all gone. He will bounce back. We're fresh on the cards. Well, he hasn't bounced back since the first 4 or 5 games this season. Well, yeah, tequila. Addictions can cost you everything. A lesson for youngsters watching. Jaffa cakes lead you nowhere. Okay, fair enough. I missed a mistake.
That's something between me. That's something from Mia's channel, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, does anyone blame Romero for all this? Did Romy cost us 6 points?
Talking to Tequila, I think.
It was a question because I heard someone in Irish Hotspur blame it on him. We could go back to that. Romero, I just want to catch up with the chat.
Yeah, I'll put a star on it.
He played his part, but not all his fault. Tequila says maybe 25% on him. Phil P's here. Hello, Phil. Woo.
Phil P. Woo. Big up.
Romero, Jesus H. Christ, people. I hope this is tongue in cheek. Daniel Lee. Good to see you. I said the other day we were screwed into at least Jan, and I stick by it, mate. And then there's a whole load of loving in the house.
Well, big up.
I've got Tequila saying, fair enough, Hotel. I can see that. I don't know, but because I've been going on. I can't believe it took 86 minutes in between both shots and target. That's disgraceful. So, Sonner's back up. No way, Jose. Listen, we can buy better players. There's better players out there that can play centre forward for you, right? And that will play as a centre forward, and that'll give more passion and aggression, and they'll run back and they'll do things that they've got to do, and they'll probably shout and berate at players. Yesterday, Son was as quiet. Son might as well have been a ghost.
I was going to ask.
Son didn't attack, didn't defend, didn't say nothing to nobody. He might as well have been a Casper. Call him Casper. We had Casper playing centre forward yesterday.
I believe, unless I'm just mixing matches up, I saw him talking to the referee at times, but
and saying what?
Saying
what? Saying what? What are you going to say to the ref that changes? Who do you need to talk to? The referee or 9 of your other players? Because Vicario's in goal, or do you need to speak to the other 9 players in your team? Or do you know what? Or do you know what? I just talk to the referee.
Option players in your team. Yeah, no, I get it. I get what you're saying. I was going to ask if anybody who is watching was there and could see. I wonder if maybe Sonny was doing any of that, and it was all just like not on camera. Was he ever? Did anybody that attended the match, if you are watching, did he yell at the players? Was he? And I mean, it was an away match. I'm not sure how many people made it and what the allocation even was for tickets for us, but I don't know. You know how they always say there's things on, in the match you don't see on TV. So just like wondering if there was any of Sonny trying to like G everybody up or trying to, because Jose's right. I didn't see it. and I'm the first one to defend Sonny like all the time. So
Sonny,
this is hurting me. But
I've seen Mia's comment further down, but we'll get to it in a minute. Yeah, Phil P, huge love to the Twin Towers on the screen and the incredible poops in the chat. Daniel Lee saying, let's be real, Sonny went hiding yesterday. Mia is saying, one quiet game, I agree, but to say he's not good enough, and when he has stepped up plenty of times, super harsh. And then you've got Sheree saying, big up, guys.
big up Sheree.
Big up Sheree.
Yes.
So for me, Mia, just for me, right, I didn't jump on the bandwagon. I don't know whether you hear it start the show, but when he became top goal scorer a couple of seasons ago, by November last year, he had declined already for me, pre-World Cup, and Liverpool was sniffing in for him. And I said on many Tottenham pages back then, if Liverpool still want him, because Klopp wanted him, if Liverpool still prepared to pay 70 million for him, sell him. Sell him and take your 70. And at the time, I was saying, and this is the stuff that I was writing at the time, I was saying, spend it on Ugarte and Kudos, is what I was saying at the time, right? Now, for me, Sonny, yeah, he's going to score goals because in the 6-yard box, he'll score goals now. But the goals he used to score in yesteryear when he was running in from the wing, cutting inside and blasting them from 30 yards out and that, I think that Sonny's gone. Because Sonny can't take a player on inside, he can't take a player on outside. But in the 6-yard box, he's potent if you give him the ball. But I want much more than from a centre forward than that because he doesn't run the lines. He did nothing at all. It was one ball, the one that led to Lo Celso. I think it led to Lo Celso getting his shot off. I think Sonny was played in on the left-hand side, went running through, didn't even bother taking on the player, but went running through and couldn't take on his player, although he had 30 yards of space, couldn't take on the centre-half, and then went to cut in and took the shot. The defender was already on him, took the shot, it's bounced off the defender and went up in the air. Sonny is not. And he's not. Sonny's a really nice man. He's a nice person. And he's a nice individual. But he ain't got killer. He ain't got killer in him. And I've kept quiet. And I've just tried to be positive about everyone like this. But for me, it came to roost yesterday. What I've been thinking for the last 18 months came to roost yesterday. Sonny has not excited me in the last 18 months. It's not one game. It's 18 months. In the 6-yard box, yes, he's going to score your goals. And I suppose that counts and that matters. But in order to score them goals, you've got to feed him the ball. And we ain't got players feeding. Because our players can't go past players. Yesterday, Porro went past, which I've been screaming about all season. Go past. Go past and bring the ball in low. We'll score goals. We'll score lots of goals. That was a Celtic way. We'll score lots of goals. For me, Sonny is just not good enough. Keep Sonny at the club. I see what you're saying. Sonny won't be sold because he sells too much money and after sale stuff. Fine. I ain't got a problem with that. But bring someone who starts. Keep Sonny as a sub. But bring someone in that starts. So therefore, just to make it clear, so everybody knows where I am at the moment, right, and where I should have been from the start is from our first 11, which is brilliant, by the way, as everyone says so, right? We've got a good first 11 or a great first 11. Porro, upgrade. Bissouma, upgrade. Sarr, upgrade. Son, upgrade. Kulusevski, upgrade. Brennan Johnson, he's getting a pass for the time being because he's new. The rest of the players, upgrade them. So that's 5 players in the team. So we got a good 6 or a fab 6. The rest of them, upgrade them. And that's going to take time to do.
Can I ask a question just about I feel like you've done a good job at talking about your positions regarding the midfielders and Kulu and Sonny, I guess too. But Porro, what is it just the balls the long balls that completely go over his head to that post that he's missing? Is it
Porro's just not a right back? Porro's not a right back. Porro doesn't do it. Porro doesn't do it. Porro might be something different. He's not a right back. Kulusevski, got plenty of time for the fella, but we don't play a system that helps Kulusevski out. Because Kulusevski, you play the ball with him, although we only did it for the first 15 minutes. The rest of the time, we didn't bother going down the right anymore. But when you play Kulu, right, and Kulu does the holding up of the ball and that, it's because he wants people. Shit, Forrest had just scored. So you want people to bomb past him, or he's holding the ball up so he can play it to you. But then you become progressive. Sideways, sideways, sideways. Back, back, back. Progressive means you go forward. You break the lines. We haven't got players breaking the lines. Again, I'll repeat this until I'm blue in the face. Ange Ball is progressive. Ange Ball is playing 90 minutes for me. It's Ange Ball. If you're going to play it, you play it for 90 minutes. And I said that's where 16 players becomes important, because you're allowed to make 5 substitutions. Because the way that Ange wants to play is going to tire people out. So you're going to have to rotate. You know, from your 11, you're going to have to bring your 5 subs on. But we don't play handball for 90 minutes. We're lucky we play handball for 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Yeah. We played handball yesterday for 3.5 minutes. And after them 3.5 minutes, we reverted back to playing football that we did under Mourinho, Nuno, Conte. And the one common theme is that most of the players, and starting 11 yesterday, were played for the last 4 years underneath these managers, and some people longer.
Question again. I just have random questions I'm just going to throw at you, because you have been holding a lot of stuff in, and I'm just interested to know what you think about some other stuff too. So do you think there was maybe a managerial...
If you think I'm like this today, imagine what I was like yesterday.
I almost wish we had done the show yesterday because of the Jose anger factor.
I would have flown yesterday. Today I seem like I'm landing. Yesterday I was still in the air. I was flying.
I would have almost paid money. I only ever see you like on a very even keel, and so this is, for me, this is exciting. But yeah,
I was a Dogie starting his challenge on Sterling yesterday. Today I'm a Dogie finishing his challenge on Sterling.
Pulling your boots out of the way and hands up in the air, like, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Accident. Yeah, I can tell. Do you think at all though that there was maybe a starting 11 issue? Do you think that playing Højbjerg in place of Maddison was a dumb idea, or do you think that coach just thought that we could get the creativity out of Sarr and Bissouma combined that we could get from Maddison, and then we could have, Pierre sit back? I mean,
creativity.
It just
tell me what creativity. Describe to me what creativity means to you, and then I can answer that. And probably you'll answer for yourself as well. What is creativity?
Creativity is just moving the ball around quickly, beating defenders. Getting the ball, getting service to players that do the goal scoring, i.e., Son. That's creativity to me, and doing it and then progressive, like pushing the team up the pitch, as Maddison does. I think Maddison is like the epitome of a creative player. Everything Maddison does is creative. You know what I mean? He's constantly looking for ways to sneak through people, ways to get past defenders, ways to push and carry the team forward up the pitch. So I just don't know why. I guess everyone talks about Kulu or Brian Hill or Lo Celso, or as the natural replacements for Maddison. And I just noticed that in the starting 11, none of those players started for Maddison. And so I just wonder what you think, because obviously none of us are inside Big Ange's big old head, but I just wonder. It's got to be. You always say too, we're not privy to training. We're not at training. We don't see what he sees at training. So I'm sure that that's going to be a part of everything here. But it just surprised me when I didn't see a clear, like, out and out 10. Or not. I know we don't exactly play with the 10, but you know what I mean. We didn't have a player of the same play style even as Maddison out there. Was that a surprise to you?
Creativity to me, right? Mm-hmm. Is James Maddison. Right. So creativity to me is someone that can break lines, someone that can throw a shoulder, someone that can play with 2 feet, throw people, turn people inside out. People that can play progressive passes, like passes through the eye of the needles, and passes that create attacks, right? And I'm afraid to say, none of them three players, not only yesterday, but in all their time, them three players don't do it. End of story. And the only player that you've got, the only two players that I believe that are creative, but whether you choose to play them in the Maddison role or not, are Lo Celso and Hill. But he chose not to play them. And as I said, he gets to see what people are like on the training pitch, and he gets to see what he believes people can and can't do. So it's his choice. At the end of the day, he's gone with them three players yesterday who were absolutely shockingly shite. And I mean this because I had high hopes that these players would learn under Ange. And it's not one game. It's not one game at all. Because like I said, we haven't played Ange ball. We've played better football in the sense of we haven't just sat back all the time, and we've tried to play better football throughout the season with Ange. But these players just ain't Ange ball players. And I think it came to roost yesterday. And as I said, and I'll keep saying again, I've politely been really, really nice, and I've been really positive with the team, and I've not wanted to be negative. But everything, I mean, I was saying it to you yesterday in comments, everything that I've thought that I was trying to keep quiet came and showed itself yesterday. But it's been showing itself throughout the season. You know, at the end of the day, we're not playing 90 minutes. You know, we're playing for 20 at maximum, and that's not good enough. So,
yeah, I think part of the problem was that we all at the beginning knew and were okay with it taking time, and then some good results came towards the beginning of the season, and then everybody took that and then just extrapolated it and you know what I mean, applied that over the season, which isn't, you know, you can't do that. And so I think, at least with me, my hopes got maybe built up a bit more than they should have. I thought, oh, hey, the players are already taking to Ange ball. When in reality, Ange just has kind of let the shackles off of a lot of our players, so to speak. And they're, you know what I mean, they're playing more creatively, doing more of their own thing. But are they playing Ange ball, like you said?
Can I just say something quickly? Is Chris Peters still here?
I think so.
All I've got to say, I mean, we're going to update people on the predictions up until yesterday, but watching the live predictions at the moment, if two of the results stay the same way they are, Chris Peters has absolutely destroyed people this weekend with one game to go.
Chris, you're going to be top of the league. I'm feeling it, buddy.
Well, Chris Peters at the moment, yesterday he had two correct scores and one correct prediction. But he currently has two more correct scores at the moment. Nice. And if there's a goal for Brighton, because I think Brighton are 1-1. If Brighton score a goal, that could be three correct predictions, providing today only, providing the others stay the same way.
So go get a bet in, Chris Peters.
Chris has smashed it.
You are the man, Chris. We got Mile High Hotspur in the house. Just trying to get through these comments too, between, you know, you and I going, me just asking you questions basically. But big up Leo, boop, Knuckles. He says, big up my homies. Good morning. And then Chris saying, you know, Sonny won't be sold. It's too much money on shirt sales, etc. for Levy. And then Tequila agreeing, you know, too much brand awareness. And then Chris is asking, how much money do you think Levy will pay? I guess I'm thinking in January, right? Ange and the scouts will need to do magic to get the right players in. Hopefully they're already working on it. I'm hoping that's why we brought Longa in. I'm hoping they're really already cooking right now. We've got Tequila though. Tequila saying that Kulu is no winger for them. So in your eyes, is Kulu a midfielder, an offense, you know, a 8, 10? I mean, I'm interested to know. I'm guessing that's probably what you see him as, but just wondering. And then here is what I was talking about too. Daniel E. Porro is getting targeted. The ball over the top is always on his side, and teams know it as well. Yeah, I think that's part of. Adrian Sroka brings this up constantly. Anytime Adrian is on our stream, he brings up this exact thing with Porro and the balls over the top, and him not, you know what I mean, him not noticing, picking it up. But, you know, I noticed that happening yesterday as well. And again, this is what you're referring to, right? When you say that to you, Porro is not a right back.
It's just not a right back. I mean, you look at a right back, he's not a right back. Now, I know you have to play inverted, right? But does Porro invert, or does Porro just want to run up the wing? You've got a feeling that he wants to run up the wing, don't you? You get a feeling that he wants to do that.
Didn't we purchase him as a wing back initially?
Yeah, because that's what he played for. He played in a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2 for Sporting.
Oh, Sporting. Oops. I was in the right country at least. But yeah. Interesting. It's all interesting stuff. Oh, I just heard a whistle blow. What was that for a final whistle, or is that just?
Nah, I think the only final whistle that's gone so far is Brighton have drawn 1-1 with Sheffield United. Yeah, that's the only one so far.
Gotcha.
Brighton have drawn 1-1 with Sheffield United.
And everybody, we will update you on the score predictions in just a moment. I gotta run through these.
Colin, you've got the correct result with Brighton Sheffield United. You went for 1-1.
Boom! Finally working my way up the table. It's taken me a couple weeks. Told you I was going to take it a little more seriously this week. But we've got Sheree saying there was no creativity from midfielders at all. Zero service. He is no more creator for the team. He's no more a creator for the team. He's a goal scorer. We can't rely on really only one team or one player to make a team work. Sorry. But yeah, I agree with that. And I think Sonny, I'm of the mind that Sonny can still do a job, but he does need to be fed. But what striker doesn't, to a certain extent? I mean, even Kane, whenever Kane wasn't getting fed, he would just drop deep and then try to do it himself, which resulted in him usually not accomplishing anything. But Daniel is agreeing that it definitely was not Ange ball yesterday. And then we've got Ben Kaufman in the house, Eeyore himself in the building, saying afternoon, everyone. Afternoon, Mr. Ben. Hope you're well. Then we've got Daniel E saying creativity is someone who can split defenses with the eye of the needle passes. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Tequila saying that we don't have any player who can do what Mads can do, so can't replace him with what we don't have. And yeah, I agree with that as well. Shuri saying that thinks playing Sarr is Matters' role and playing Højbjerg in Sarr's role was a big mistake, to be honest. I did notice Matters getting way higher up the pitch than I normally notice him yesterday. So that was something I did notice. Wayne saying, look how long it took the club to bring Matters in to replace Eriksson. They don't prioritize the positions the squad. They don't prioritize the positions they should when they should. Agreed. I don't think anybody can argue with that, Wayne. Anybody. Shrey saying I will have played Lo Celso in middle. He's more of a creative player. And Chris saying yes, he is here. But also saying and just playing with what he's got. You can only work with the shit he has taken on. Very, very true. Very true. And then of course, if you're watching on El Tel Cockerel, smash a like and also sub, and then come on over to Talking Ball and do the same, like and sub over here. And if you're watching over here, I say over here, but if you're watching on Talking Ball, head over to El Tel Cockerel and do the same thing, please, if you don't mind. It would be a big help for the whole Spurs family we've cultivated here. But yeah, Tequila saying more of a 10. So, regarding Kulu. Okay. Yeah. And then agreeing that, Porro was brought in as a right wing back in Conte's system. I said to people,
when you lose your most favorite player in the league and the most quickest defender for our system, it's obvious our season is going to tits up. Geordie, Hawaii, the lads, has come in.
Hey. Good to have you here, as usual.
And there's people saying hello to each other. Right, Colin, what I've done is I've sent you the updated predictions. I can't update the table, but the update predictions with the 4 games that have just finished.
Gotcha. Chris Peters,
if you're still here, mate, you've had an absolutely barnstormer of a weekend. 4 correct predictions.
Woo.
And 4 correct scores on one prediction, obviously. But we'll bring it up in a minute when it comes through.
Yep, almost there. Today's the 12th. Yeah. Okay. Save. Add overlay. I like talking to myself while I do things. It's my new favorite thing to do.
Did you notice how many people had put predictions in this week?
Yes, there were, but I did notice that some people didn't get their predictions in this week, which is
some people.
for them.
So what I did, instead of having big holes in it, the people that put the predictions in, I put up, and the ones that hadn't, I put down. But there was quite a few people that did predictions this week. So,
boom, everybody.
Shall we let people see the predictions?
Let's go. Let me get that comment off there. It's right in the way. Sorry, Jordy. We'll get you back up. Oh man, and that banner, that's an old one. Okay. All right, but there is the predictions for this weekend. Let me even get this off here. It's in the way right now too. The little talking ball.
So with the orange means you got the correct team that's won, or the correct result, the correct prediction that the team was going to win, home, away, or draw. But the green ones are where you've actually got the actual correct score. Green score you 3, orange score you 1. So even though I've not had a barnstormer, I've collected 1, 2, 3, 4. I've so far collected 7 points.
Yeah, that's awesome for not particularly, not your best one yet, even. So
7 takes me to 34. 7 points takes me to 34 at the moment. But Chris Peters has got 1, 2, 3, 4 correct and 1. So that takes him to 13 points.
Yeah, that's incredible.
13 points takes Chris to 36. So he's a point behind me. And Chris Peters has gone 3-1 for the last game, and I've gone 4-0. Anyway, Colin.
Look at that. Look, there's some green. There's some green on mine.
Got 2 greens and 3 oranges. So that gives you 9 points, Cole.
I needed them.
That 9 points gets you as many points as you've had for all the other weeks.
See, I told you. I'm taking it seriously. No more funny answers.
You've doubled your score, Cole.
Yep.
Kate has 1, 2, 3, 4 oranges. Wayne Bonner has 4 oranges. Chris Met Football started well because he was the only person that predicted the correct score for Wolves Tottenham. He's got 1 green and 4 oranges.
I can't believe he had. That's Chris is brave for giving that answer out, even. But he was right. He saw it all along. I guess it was the injuries and then nice job, Chris. I guess is what I'm saying.
Nita has 5 oranges.
Nita.
Top Spurs has got 2 greens and 2 oranges.
Nice work.
Jacob has 3 oranges. Jim has predicted 1 now as well. So we've got Jim has finally got a prediction. So Jim's got 1 green and 2 oranges.
Nice job, Jim.
Bobby K has got 1 green, 4 oranges. Ellie's got 4 oranges. Chris Peters has smashed it. He's got 4 greens and 1 orange. But he's a point behind me at the moment. So it all depends on what the score is. If Man City win, but we don't predict the correct scores, we get a point each. So that puts me a point ahead of Chris Peters. But if Chris Peters or me get the correct prediction, there could be a turnaround. Dry roasted peanut has 1, 2, 3, 4 oranges and 1 correct prediction in there.
7 points.
Beer Talk has 1 correct prediction and 4 oranges. Dave from the Irish Hotspur has 4 oranges. Sheree has 1 correct prediction and 1 orange.
Nice work.
And your mum has 1 correct prediction, correct score, and 5 correct predictions, so 5 oranges. Ooh. So there will be some changing on that table.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's about time too. Like I said, I needed to get back in, and so this week was my week. I'm being selfish, but I had to get back in there. So let me get that. That's been a nice. This has been a nice thing. I'm really glad we're doing this predictions table, and it looks like after depending on the win later, Jose, Chris.
At the moment,
Chris
the way we stand,
could-
I'm a point ahead of Chris. The way we stand at the moment.
Yeah. So Chris, you might overtake him after the last match. We'll have to see.
Can we just say? Can you put it back up a second? I've just seen Chris Peters make a comment on the Bournemouth Newcastle game. Right, when we were doing the predictions, because it's unfortunate because on Friday we lost a lot of people because there was a problem with YouTube, and so a lot of the people dropped off. But one of the lucky people that stayed on was your mum, Julie, and she was going to give a prediction, and I said, hold on. I said, I'm not giving mine yet because I have got reasons for the prediction I'm going for. So your mum did not pick her prediction and waited to hear what I said. And at the time, I said on the stream, and if people have watched it back, they would have heard this. I said on Friday, I said, Newcastle had a tough game away in the Champions League, so they have to travel. They're travelling back and they're playing. And if we think we've got it bad with 9 players out, I said Newcastle have got 11 players out. And I think it was Danny who said to me, yeah, but they're not creative players. And I said, well, when you look at the likes of Tonali, Harvey Barnes, Callum Wilson and Isak, I'd say that they are creative players because some of them score goals and some of them create. And it came to roost. And that's when I said, so therefore I'm going for Bournemouth to win at home 2-0. Julie, Colin's mum, then went 1-0 to Bournemouth. She didn't go the whole hog. She went 1-0 to Bournemouth. And we were the only 2 that predicted a home win. So there we go.
If you could somehow combine all of our brains into one, then William Hill would not have any money left. We would be.
And we got a correct result in every game.
Yeah.
So we got one there. No, there was no correct result for Man United Luton. Because Man United won 1-0. So we wouldn't have got the Man United Luton between us all, but we've got the Bournemouth, the Aston Villa. There's some people who got that result. Brighton, Sheffield United, Colin's the only one that got that result.
Woo!
And Liverpool, Brentford, we all got, but we never got the correct result. The correct result was 3-0, and no one went for 3-0.
Yeah.
So yeah,
bummer.
Barring 2 games, then we were there.
Yeah, just about had it. Everybody, we did great this week though. Can't wait to see tomorrow the fully formed and shaken out table. We'll see how that goes. This has been a nice distraction from the anger. Are you ready to jump back in, Jose?
Yeah.
All right, so let me get this out of here.
I'm not angry, but the thing is, I'm not angry. The thing is, today I'm not angry. My anger was yesterday.
Now you just don't care.
Today I'm just completely frustrated for 2 things. One is for myself, because it sounds like, because I've not wanted to be negative about the team up until now, and negative about the season at all. I've not been, and I've been positive. It sounds like that I've got sour grapes and I'm saying things that maybe I'm just making up because it's yesterday's game. It's actually not. It's not what I'm thinking. What I'm saying is the thoughts that I've had that I didn't really clarify because I wanted to remain positive have come to roost yesterday. Of course, I want the team to win. I want the team to win all the time. I want us to play progressive football. I want us not to be boring, susceptible shit that we've been for the last 4 years. And I know I'm like the next person. I want to see us do well. But when you've got this feeling, you've got these thoughts, and all I wanted to do is I put them all to one side of my head, and I came in with the side of my head, be ultra positive. Well, yesterday, all the thoughts I've been having, and some of them I've been having for 18 months. So it's not just a this season thing. Some are 18 months. With the Sonny thing, I've been like this for 18 months. It's not just been now. It's been like this for 18 months. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. How do we improve against? How do we improve against Villa?
That's a great point. It's a great point. We'll have to think of who. So
Daniel Lee, Bruno Guimaraes. I don't think he was playing yesterday either, was he? Or was he? Because if he was, he had a bad game. So I don't even know whether he played yesterday. Sorry, go on, Colin. You were going to say.
Oh, well, so there's obviously a bunch of comments that we need to get to. But you asked how we improve against Villa. Destiny will be back. That's one small thing that I feel like isn't such a small thing. I think it's kind of insane how much a person who is new to the league new manager, young man. It's kind of insane if you think about how important he is to our team.
Okay, so I'm going to put this to you,
he's-
right? So we improve with a doggy coming back in, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Who are we playing next?
City.
No, we're not.
Oh, Villa, and then City.
Well,
I thought you were talking after the Villa.
Aston Villa have two players that play up front for them called Ollie Watkins and Moussa Diaby.
Diaby's a beast. Watkins isn't quite as quick, but
no, Watkins is shit up a shovel. Watkins is quick. Trust me, he's quick. Right? How are we matching up against them two players? I'm not talking about we've got. If we're playing with the three midfielders we have yesterday, they're not going to protect our defenders, right?
Yeah.
So how are we going to play against Villa? How are we going to set up against Villa when you've got Watkins and Diaby coming at you? Yeah. That's what I'm asking. So let's think about the Villa game. How are we going to start? We played with two slow players yesterday at centre backs, and Villa's team forward wise, they got quick players. How are we going to match up against them?
So we got Udogie,
yeah,
on the left. Obviously Vicario in goal. Let me share this while I'm doing.
But what I'm saying is, let's play. We're going to match up against their team, right? Right, for their two forwards, who's going to be our two centre backs against them two forwards? You've got proper speed merchants there, and if we play the same midfield that we played yesterday, who don't defend our defence, who cannot defend our defenders, who are we going to keep and who are we going to play up against Watkins and Diaby?
Can I counter your question with another question, real quick?
Right, so let's right. So they play with Diaby and Watkins as their front two, right?
Yeah.
And then on the wings, or today they had Douglas Luiz in midfield with Boubacar Kamara, and they had McGinn and Tielemans playing today. Defensively, they played with Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Pau Torres, Luca Digne. Now, I think that we could, if providing our defence play proper, providing we've got a decent midfield that can create, if they get the ball to our forwards, right, which they couldn't do yesterday, then I think we can cause Villa problems, right?
Right.
But we've got to be creative, because I think that, Pau Torres, good footballer.
Yeah.
He's Spanish, and I know a lot about Pau Torres, but he's extremely slow. Extremely slow. I think Matty Cash and Lucas Digne can be got at. I really do. So, at the end of the day, I'm more fearful next game, after watching the game that I watched, right, with the midfield not doing what they're meant to do, right, yesterday for me. How are we going to set up in defence? Because they won't protect the defence. They didn't yesterday.
Yeah,
and when you're playing against Watkins and Diaby, that's what for me, Villa have got Watkins and Diaby, right, who are really quick. They've got Douglas Luiz. They've got McGinn as a decent player as well. But that doesn't make 11. That's 4 players. It doesn't make 11, right? Yeah. But they're attacking players. Now, defending has to be done from the front, not just the defence, right? What am I going to see? What am I going to see against Villa? Am I going to see another 5 versus 11 like we saw yesterday? Because all I saw yesterday was 5 players, the back 5 versus Wolves 11. So what are we going to see against Villa? That's what I ask people.
It's a great question. And I mean, impossible in a way for us to answer. I think that, do you agree that usually, I know that he's not exactly a pressing machine, but I think that yesterday Son's lack of pressing surprised even me. And I know that that's not really part of his match. He's not a pressing forward, but he usually presses more than he did yesterday.
Who's that? Sorry?
Sonny, believe it or not. Sonny, he'll at least contribute. He'll run if there's other players around him pressing, he'll press the goalkeeper. If the ball's going back to their keeper, he'll he'll put pressure on the keeper. I guess that's what I mean when I say contribute to the press. You know what I mean? He'll at least, hassle the keeper a bit as he's, going to collect a back pass. He'll, it's an extraordinary strong City side. I guess what I'm asking, I see what you're asking. Where should we start? Start with the defense?
Well, I'm just saying, bearing in mind who we're playing against, right. And mind you, can I just say, the caveat I'll give on this is we've got a 2-week break for the international again, which probably we've never needed for the last 2 wins, but we need it this time around.
Yeah, no joke.
To reset. It's quite funny. The shoes on the other foot now. So the first 2 months we were complaining that we didn't need it. I'm fucking complaining we do need it this time round.
Yeah.
But so therefore, there's a lot of variables to take on board because you don't know what's going to happen while people are away with their international teams. You hope, and I hope for everybody, and I mean even friends and foe, that everybody comes back healthy because you don't want to see players out for long-term injuries, especially if they're playing for their nations. So, bearing in mind the way we sit at the moment, knowing what we know at the moment, before people come back, then that's the Villa players that we'll be up against.
Yeah, agreed. I think that after that match, I don't know how you can't take a punt on Phillips. But again, I know that Ange hasn't been training, but it just seems like we've now seen these guys in a Premier League match playing together. I don't think that a center back pairing of Dyer and Davies is going to do it against the players that you mentioned, Villa's players. So,
sorry, I'm just looking. Colin has put in here, right? Any change for Chelsea City game score? They're not started yet, Chris. They start in 10 minutes. But just to update everybody, the Chelsea lineup is Sanchez in goal. They're playing with Reece James, Axel Disasi, Thiago Silva, Cucurella. So the same back four. Oh no, the same back four that finished the game because they took Levi Koval off at half time. In midfield, they've got exactly the same midfield that they had last week. So they're playing with Casado, Gallagher, Fernandes, and up front the same three again: Palmer, Jackson, Sterling. Manchester City have decided to run with this team today because they've got so many players to pick from. So they've got Ederson in goal. They have a back 2, 3, 4, however you want to look at it, of Walker, Diaz, Akanji, Vardiol. In midfield, they have Rodri and Bernardo Silva. They have Foden, Alvarez, and Doku behind Haaland. Sport for riches, that team. Sport for riches. But
yeah,
I expect
sucks that they're so
expect
poor.
I expect them to go and spank Chelsea today, or that's what I want. Or that it's not sour grapes that Chelsea beat us. I just don't like Chelsea. But yeah, so yeah, after today's games, we are in 4th place.
All right, and at the beginning of the season, I think we all would have absolutely bitten your hand off.
Yeah, we would have taken that.
So we got to keep that in mind.
So we got
Boris Britt is in the house.
To be honest, I'm upset,
Yeah.
but I'm not angry about the matches over the last 2 matches. We move onwards and upwards. Let's keep back in hand, and if we recover and beat Villa, we get a Dogi back for that match. Yeah, this was what we just said. Honestly, Davis was quite good yesterday. Maybe Davis and Romeo at centre back until the new year. Romero, sorry. Man City was also struggling when Rodri was missing. No services for Haaland. He stinks. 3 games without scoring. Sheree says that she thinks it'll be Porro, Phillips, Davis, and a doggy for her.
I can see it.
Daniel says, yeah, I was wrong with Bruno Guimaraes. Was out yesterday as well with a suspension. Villa will destroy us in transition to Danny. Boris Britt, we can't just blame the back line for what happened yesterday. Son also didn't do as much well in that match. Boris, I've not blamed the back line at all. If you what I'm saying it was a back 5. My comments yesterday, straight after the game, in another stream, were it was our back 5 versus the whole of Wolves. So it was 11 versus 5 for me yesterday. The front 6, midfield 3, and the forward 3 were non-existent. So therefore, yeah, it was the back 5 versus their 11. I'm not blaming them. In no way, shape, or form am I blaming the back 5 at all for yesterday. I think the back line maybe against Villa could be a Doggy, Davis, Phillips, Porro, same as Sheree for Boris Britt. Daniel, Ashley Phillips up against one of the most informed forwards in the league could be a harsh learning lesson for Phillips.
Absolutely could be, but at least it's an unknown. You know what I mean, Dane? That's my only thinking there is that we haven't already seen him get smashed.
And Boris Britt has come back in with saying, since Phillips is tall and has speed, not as much as Mikey does, but more than Romero does, so he could cover the hiccups if speed Davis might not have. Hiccups of speed that Davis might not have.
I haven't watched enough of the under 21s. It's embarrassing. As a person who has its Spurs channel, I really need to make it a goal of mine to watch more of the U21s so I can speak with more. So I can speak more intelligently on you know what I mean, on Ashley Phillips and his game. But at this point, just spouting off things I've heard other people say. Boris, though, he would be going up against them when he moves into the first team a year or two anyways. Yeah, exactly, Boris. I agree. I mean, we've seen, with this manager throwing people in for their first matches, North London derbies, and, it doesn't matter who we're playing or he's not afraid to give players a try. And I think we could see Phillips. I do. But again, I was going to ask you. Sorry, Jose. This gives me a chance to ask you. What did you think of how the center back pairing fared yesterday? Would you be upset if you saw that center back pairing going forward?
Right. If they had a midfield that would help them out, which I don't believe the midfield helped them out at all yesterday.
Right.
Then you play what you got, because I can't say one thing on a Friday and say something today in between the matches. And on the Friday, I was quite clear saying that we know the squad we got, and we've got to go in with what we've got. You played the hand that you dealt with, right? So therefore, we knew that the odds were it's going to be Dyer Davis, and they did the best they could. I don't know what more we expected from them both.
Yeah.
Davis is getting more plaudits than Dyer, but did Dyer put foot wrong yesterday? They weren't.
He made a tackle.
Okay, but they weren't defended. The midfield didn't help them out. The midfield offered them no protection. And in saying that, I'm going to go as far as saying the forwards didn't offer them protection either, because the defence starts from the front. I thought our pressing was absolutely shocking yesterday from the forwards, the three forwards. And if you don't press correctly, then the rest of it comes out of kilter, out of sync. So
absolutely.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. But yeah, we've got Udogie coming back, but he's the only player that we've got coming back because Romero's out for a further 2.
Yeah.
Saw that the bench had Dorrington, Phillips, Veliz, Donnelly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, yesterday, I would have given Veliz a run out for Son, and I would have brought Donnelly on for Kulusevski. Or for one of the midfielders. What midfielder didn't get replaced yesterday?
What midfielder didn't get replaced yesterday?
Yep. Because they replaced Son, they replaced Basuma, didn't they?
Yep.
I would have brought Donnelly on for Højbjerg or Donnelly on for Kulusevski and given him a go, to be honest.
Hey, look at Boris Britt's most recent comment. I'll put it up. It says, to be honest, I think if Hill and Lo Celso and Veliz had come on for Brennan, Højbjerg, and Sonny earlier, we could have scored some more goals, since as soon as Hill and Lo Celso came on, they had an instant impact.
Well, I did say earlier on in the show that if you're going to pick someone, if Madison's a creative player and you need someone creative, then the players that we had just to start the game are not the players that you're looking for being creative. We played with a static 3 like we played last season as well. Well, that was a 2. You could call it a 3 because everyone was static last year. And I did say earlier, Boris, that we could have used either Lo Celso or Hill in Madison's role yesterday. Or, like I said on Friday, you could have dropped Kulu into that role and played Hill out wide, is what I said. But, Boris, I'm not complaining with you at all, mate. I definitely would have brought on Veliz for Son. Definite. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. Sonny just looked like he wasn't getting any joy. Was getting bullied by defenders. We know Veliz is a stronger more of a unit of a human being, and more of a physical specimen. So yeah, I would have loved to see him. I'd love to see him get more game time. The thing is with him, he's a player too that will definitely need distribution. You know what I mean? He's not going to be able to create for himself and head in the goals. You know what I mean? I honestly, and Jose can correct me, and I'm sure he will. But when I think of Veliz, I think of a unit type of player, a big guy that can play well with his back to goal, can hold the ball up, maybe get some others involved. But is he going to create for himself? I don't really think so. But again, we're not really asking anybody to do that. I just don't know where the creativity is going to come from with a midfield like we had yesterday. Real quick, I didn't want to skip any comments. We've got Boris Britt saying that he's watched some highlights of the matches with and we're talking Phillips here, and he was impressed for a kid of his age and at the level he did well. Awesome, man. I'll have to check it out again myself and at least get that up to speed. And then Dan E saying, "What press? It was non-existent." Agreed. Fully agreed. That match yesterday just felt so much like watching a Conte match and just having my butt cheeks clenched together the entire time. Was not pleasant. Was not pleasant. But I guess my glute muscles might have got to work out. They haven't gotten in a while. Boris Britt saying again, well, Sonny has always been cursed at Wolves. Now, in his last 11 matches against Wolves, he hasn't scored a goal against them. That's interesting, and a stat that I was not aware of. Boris Britt, thank you for that little tidbit of information. That's awesome. I had no idea. But yeah, Wayne Bonner, and again, big up Wayne, saying stick Kulu in Madison's position, Son right side of attack to replace Kulu, and Veliz up front. Yeah, that could be sweet. That could be sweet. We would be relying on Poro too, I think, in that with a lineup like that to get some crosses in, because Sonny's never going to cross the ball in. But then again, our wide forwards aren't exactly wide forwards, so yeah, we don't see many crosses put in. The player that put in crosses was Perisic, and he's now injured forever, basically. So. And then Danny says, I think Lo Celso has to play now. He's the only like-for-like replacement for Matters, even though he is nowhere near in the same quality. But Lo Celso showed yesterday he could help win the ball back as well. Yeah, that's what I was actually the most impressed with from Lo Celso's little cameo, was his willingness to track back, his willingness to, his willingness to track back, his willingness to, just help the team out in all ways, not just going forward. And for some players that looked like, I don't know, during the summer, some of these players looked like they were sure to be off. Højbjerg, for example. Lo Celso didn't want to be here. So it's like, I don't know where we stick the blame. Lo Celso was not sorry, Lo Celso, but Højbjerg was terrible yesterday. Was terrible. But he had played better matches previous. I wonder what happened yesterday. I wonder if any of it was on instructions given to them, or if just the occasion got to them and they knew, hey, we're depleted. Everybody's counting on me, and then the pressure got to him. It's tough. Chris Peters, though, says that Hill is too lightweight, and we saw that yesterday. He did get pushed around. A bit. Wolves are a physically imposing team a little bit. Boris Britt, though, saying, honestly, he's shocked that we didn't try Brennan in the number 9 role, since he seemed to get into those positions Son should have done in the match. And maybe we will. That's a great shout. That might be something that we end up seeing, which would not make me upset in the least. And Dan E, yeah, agreeing with Chris, about Hill being too lightweight, and saying if you're going to be lightweight like that, got to have a brain like Luka Modric to make up for it. And you're saying quite clearly that he does not. Guys, we've already got the answers from a couple people in the chat, but Jose and I, we were talking. We were thinking about the match versus Villa. Would you keep the center back pairing the same? Or would you throw on Phillips? Do you think it's too much for him at this time in his career? I don't know. I just don't know if I can take another time seeing Dyer and Davies next to each other on the team sheet. It's definitely a lot to handle. So yeah, curious as to what you guys out there in internet land think. Boris Britt continuing the conversation about the lightweight hill. I love it. Well, everyone complains about Kulu not being lightweight and falling down due to his strength, and now complaining that Gill is lightweight. Wingers can't win anymore. Oh wait. Oh, okay. So are people saying then, Boris, that the people who are complaining about Kulu being too strong? I'm a tiny bit confused, but we'll get this out. We'll suss this out. We'll work it out. But yeah, obviously, guys, just the match yesterday, a lot of things went wrong. It exposed a lot of cracks that I think had been covered up by the signing of the summer, James Madison. And I don't think there can really be much more debate about whether or not he was the signing of the summer. I mean, we look like a totally different team when that fellow is on the pitch. I'm sure the same could be said about Vicario as well. You take either of those two off, and we're going to look like a totally different team. But yeah, I would seriously say that I put Madison as the signing of the summer for me. And Jose is agreeing with me. I got Jose to agree with me, everybody. Yes.
Right, I've just been thinking about it. Sorry, I've just been thinking, right. Call me mad. Right.
You're mad, Jose. You're crazy.
Call me mad. Right. Do you want to hear some madness?
Yes.
My team to play Villa.
Ooh, okay. Yes.
And I'm only basing this because we're playing at home. So at home, I expect us to have the Lions share the possession and the crowd behind us. And I think that could help some of these players that I'm going to name. All right. I'd start with Vicario and goal. My back four would be Emerson at right back, Dorrington and Phillips, Udogie. My midfield would be Bentancur, Sarr, Lo Celso.
Okay.
And my front three would be Hill, Villiers, and Johnson.
So you'd have Johnson on the left or the right?
Johnson on the right, Hill on the left, and I'd play Villiers down the middle, and I'd give Sonny a rest. Captain or no captain, I just think that he just looks a shadow of himself, and I'd give him a rest because I want Villiers to play, because Villiers can only play 9. Villiers can't play wide at the moment. So, yeah. But the likelihood is I'll probably have to change that. I'll probably have to say no Villiers, but play Son down the middle and Villiers to come on as an impact sub then. So that's the team I'd start with. Quite left field, but I feel that because we're at home, right, and we keep talking about Dorrington and Phillips, and we keep saying how we don't want Dyer and Davis because of pace issues, blah, blah, blah. I think that because it's a home game, I'd give them the chance, man, because at home they're not going to get berated, are they? And if anything, the one thing we know about Tottenham's fan base, right, and it's the one thing I do know about Tottenham's fan base, is that we love one of our own. We like players coming through the ranks. We always have done, and we always will do. We always keep saying, well, when's one of our own coming through? Well, Dorrington's one of our own, and Phillips was bought as one of our own now. So, you know, the other thing I was going to say, right, and I don't know how mad this is going to sound, and I don't know whether it's feasible or not. The youngster that we got from Hajduk Split or wherever it is, yeah?
Oh, yeah, that 16-year-old defender kid.
Who apparently we were going to send out on loan for a season, and that was going to be in the winter transfer window. Right, we were going to send him out on loan. Right, this guy apparently is ripping up trees. Right, he's playing first team football and he's ripping up trees in Croatia. Right, now I know it's not the top 5 leagues, but he's 16 years old, first team player, ripping up trees. People are saying that he's ahead of where Guardiola was at that age for the age groups and that. And look at Guardiola as a player. This is what good experts and judges are saying.
And maybe the stats.
Is there any chance whatsoever that in the winter transfer window we will be able to bring him in because we've already purchased him. But the plan was to loan him out for a further year, and then bringing him in 2025. Is there any chance for? I don't know whether it comes down to visa issues or anything like that. I don't know. But if there isn't any issues, is there any chance that we bring him back? We bring him in sooner rather than later, because we bought a doggy, but with a doggy, when we purchased the doggy, it was in the deal straight away that he would spend the whole season on loan with
Udinese.
Udinese, yeah. He would stay at Udinese for the whole year. So we knew we weren't going to see a doggy till this year. Imagine what we could have done with a doggy last year. Or do you reckon he would have been shot playing the Conte way? But anyway, it was just something I was thinking out loud. I was thinking to myself, well, we've got this player. We know he's coming to us. Is there any reason why we couldn't bring him in at the because we've bought him, haven't we? Because we've bought him already. There's a player there that we've already purchased, so you don't have to go out and buy a centre off because we've got one we purchased already. So I was just thinking out loud, is that a possibility? So
I wonder if it is in any kind of. So I think the reason that we were able to get our Levy was able to get his mitts on Udogie was because of maybe that loaning him back. I think that might have played a role in them accepting our offer, but I might be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. But that's just a thought. So I don't know if we have anything similar in place with, and it's sad that I can't even remember the fella's name. Let me look it up. I feel stupid right now, but yeah, the defender from let's see what I can find here on his name. I just need to know. Croatian center back Luka Vuskovic.
There you go.
Yeah, Luka Vuskovic.
Oh, you smashed it, my son.
Boom. It didn't only took me 10 seconds. Okay, but real quick, I just want to get through some comments here too. Boris was saying that people were mad at Kulu for being too strong and fighting and not going down when he should, and now people are complaining about Gil, who goes down too much. He just says there's a little bit of people in the Spurs fan base kind of want things both ways sometimes, and I definitely want it all the ways, so I get it. Wayne Bonner saying, I love Hill, but he really needs to work on his strength. While he was knocked off the ball yesterday, Wolves got possession and came at us. He needs to strengthen up if he wants to play regularly. Is that something? I mean, you in agreement with that, Jose?
With
just this comment here about Hill, just saying that him losing possession resulted directly in Wolves coming at us, having to go at us, and put us in danger. I guess is and. So do you think that he's a liability until he gets some strength and doesn't get knocked off the ball so easily?
Nah.
Sweet.
No.
Okay, so hey, real quick, I was going to ask you about your lineup. Who was the third person you had in midfield? You had Lo Celso and you had Sarr.
Bentancur.
That's a good one. Okay, so and then I can't even put Dorrington on this because the internet doesn't know who he is at this point. But I can share my screen and just show everybody just about what you got put up. So this is oops, let me fix us here. I always forget how to do this, how to make it come up right. Nope, that's wrong too. I give up. But there is a way to. Is it this one? It's this one. Okay, so here is the team that Jose was speaking of yesterday. You've got Lo Celso with Sarr and Bentancur on either side. You've got Hill and Johnson with Valise in the middle. There's a big Dorrington-shaped hole right here, but again, I just cannot get the internet to find him. Pedro Porro, Ashley Phillips as your other central defender, and then Udogie on the left, and of course Venom at goalie, keeper, goalie. What I threw my Americanness right out in the open just there with that. But yeah, I think that's a good squad. I think
No, take out Veliz. I'd love to see Veliz get a run out because I think he'll show more passion, more heart, more desire than what fucking Sonny does. But at the end of the day, Son's the captain. They're going to select Son, whatever happens. So Veliz will have to be the impact sub.
The only thing I could think is if they put Son over here, and then maybe, you know what I mean? If they maybe reverted Son back to the wing, but he was so
Son down the wing doesn't take a player on either. Son doesn't take a player on inside or outside. Son lost that ability 2 years ago. Son didn't have that ability last year either. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying now, I wish I said it earlier because I've been feeling this way. When I say earlier, I mean on channels on YouTube because I was saying this 18 months ago. 18 months ago, I was saying that Son is shot. Son doesn't provide the in, the out, doesn't provide anything at all, hasn't done for 18 months. But back then, Klopp was sniffing. Klopp wanted him. Klopp was sniffing for him big time. And Klopp, at the time, it was mooted that they prepared to pay 70 mil for him. And I was saying, let's take the 70 mil and let's bring in Mohamed Kudus and Manuel Ugarte. Spend that 70 million on Kudus and Ugarte. Well, since then, Kudus has gone to West Ham and Ugarte went to PSG. But imagine a Kudus and an Ugarte in our team.
Yeah.
You could play Kudus as in the front three, or you could play him in the middle three as an 8. You know, you could play Kudus as an 8, or you could play him wide forward. You know, and Ugarte would be your monster number 6 that we've been crying out for a monster 6. Ugarte would have been that. 18 months ago, £70 million selling Son, £70 million, and you would have got these players and some change to 18 months ago when I was saying it. And I was saying this on Tottenham pages on Facebook. Is what we were saying, where I was shouting this out loudest. And even then, I got pelters from people. Nah, what are you talking about? Well, I'll tell you what, I wish the fucking we had taken that 70 million.
And I think people forget. I mean, players age and become less effective as they age. I know that Sonny's drop off in quality seemed to have like come out of nowhere, and it seemed to come awfully quick. But I mean, it happens. Players, you know, recurrent injuries lose pace.
It's like the other teams, though, Colin. Right? We keep complaining as a fan base, or a lot of people complain, and I'm probably one of them, right? Who complains as a fan base, saying we don't move like other clubs. So other clubs like Liverpool got rid of Coutinho. They knew his past his side by date because Coutinho hasn't done jack shit since he left Liverpool, and they got 130 million for him or whatever, and that's when they ended up bringing in Alisson and Van Dijk. Yeah, you've got your man at Man City, Pep, Mr. Pep, who
my man. No,
your man Pep. I'm just calling him your man Pep. No, I'm not saying he's your man. Your man Pep. He gets rid of players, right? He lets them go. They move on, and he lets them go, and then he recycles, brings other players in, and they don't get a lack. They get fucking stronger and better by what he does and letting them go. You know, so. I mean, if people think De Bruyne is going to be at Man City for the next 2 seasons, think again. De Bruyne will be gone, right? And with De Bruyne, they've already got Alvarez. Alvarez has already come in to replace De Bruyne. People like Brighton do it. Brighton already got players in, ready to sell players. They brought players in. You know,
could Brennan Johnson be the replacement for Sonny as we knew him, and then we're looking to bring in another center forward, and Sonny's just there as total backup?
Quite possibly,
break glass if needed.
But we need to do a load. We need to do that with a load of players. You got. I mean, Arsenal. They did it slightly differently. They got rid of fucking Ozils, Aubameyangs, Pepe, all these fucking high-profile, super duper earners, and that got rid of them all. Yeah, and bought in, and they have bought in better players. The players that they bought in, the players that they've let go, like Guendouzi and all players like. What the fuck have they gone to do? They've done jack shit since they left Arsenal and Liverpool's and your Man United. They all do it. We need to do it as well. So why we're sentimental and emote and we're all through our emotions, we want to keep Sonny. Mm-hmm. Sonny's not fucking good enough. Sonny's been fucking dog shit with 18 months. Regardless, he scores goals. He does nothing else. Goals are vital. Goals are important. Don't get me wrong. But he's our captain as well, and he can't galvanise the team.
Making him the captain, I think, was a bad move. I've gone back and forth on that, But
I don't know. The thing is, though, he's too nice. He's too nice for himself. He's a nice human being, isn't he? And he's not going to cajole the players and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? He's just too nice. Like I said yesterday, I was looking for somebody because we could see we were shit. And I think anyone in the world could see we were shit. And I was looking for him to say, come on, man. Grab the players by the scruff of their throat and tell them we need to pull our socks up and start doing things here. And he never fucking did it. All he did was go and talk to the referee. Ref, how long's left? Ref, did you yellow card him? Ref, are you going to give a corner? What's all that? That doesn't help us. Do you know what I mean? We need, come on, guys, pull it up. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to position yourself there.
Dare I say I saw Dyer doing more of that than I saw of Captain Sonny. I saw Dyer trying to. It was back in the defense where he belongs and where he needed to be, but he was definitely G'ing people up and celebrating, making tackles and blocks. And I think Dyer did more to raise the level of the team or try to than Sonny did, at least from where I was sitting in this exact chair right here. But I spend too much time in this chair, Jose. Daniel E saying though that this is
about Hill.
Oh, where you cannot be too lightweight. Another perfect example.
And then Wayne's coming in for Hill. Dan's saying that Son's finished down the wing, which I've said all along. Totally, I think he's been finished for more than 18 months now. Wayne Bonner says the front three should constantly be moving and alternating positions. Wayne Bonner, can't agree with you any further than this. You are 300 million% right. I've said
That's how Liverpool have been doing it for years.
I've said it all along. Why can't our players from inversion? Yesterday, did you see that Kulu went to the right quite early on in the game?
I did, yes.
Right. But then I think it was more by accident because he ran across the ball. He'd run across the ball with the pitch because Kulu and Johnson was on the same wing together. Yeah. And I think it's because Kulu had run across the pitch. Everyone else does it, switches their players over. I keep screaming, put Kulu out on the left, put Johnson out on the right. Do the switch. Other teams do it. Why can't we do it? It's probably not the way Postecoglou wants to play because otherwise they would have done it. But it's been crying out for me that we shouldn't need to do that. The three in midfield, it's crying out for me. Alternate your three in midfield. Let them go left to right, right to left. Let them patrol. Let them master that midfield. Liverpool's players seem to do it. The three midfielders seem to do it. They interchange and they swap at different times. Whatever three Liverpool play. Ours don't. Ours is you play there, you play there, you play there. Anyway, I ain't going to bash up the manager because I know it's not the manager's fault. The manager, I think, knows. And the manager, obviously, the manager's not got carried away.
But he did make Sonny captain, which essentially makes him undroppable. So that is something that you have to keep in mind that the manager did do.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think the manager knows. He defends his players, don't get me wrong. And I said this earlier on the stream. He defends his players 100 trillion%. He defends his players. Doesn't throw him under the bus or anything like that. But he knows himself, I think, that he hasn't got the players he wants or needs to play the system and the football that he wants. And however much coaching you do, for some reason, these players regressed yesterday into a la Conte, a la Mourinho, a la Spirito Santo. So to me, at the end of the day, we need to bring other players in. We need to bring players in. We need to bring players in that will play his system. And that's going to take us time, I'm afraid. So I'm on the ride with him. In Ange, I do trust in Ange. I'm on the ride with him. And it's a long, long ride. Listen, we've got more points than what I thought we've got more points than a lot of people thought we would have. We'll finish higher and we'll finish better than what we did last season, I hope. I say that now because watching the players play yesterday, they regressed. And so therefore, I'm hoping that they will start. Well, I'm hoping something's got to change. You can't fucking play in the same turgid shit we did the last 4 years and provide that yesterday because you don't win with that kind of football.
Yeah.
But we had no urgency. We didn't press. We had no fucking urgency. That's why I said it was a back five versus Wolves 11 because they're defending. It was rear guard defending because the other six, it was as if you played a match and the other six were fucking all ghosts. They were all Caspers. Casper and his brothers they were yesterday. all wearing fucking white sheets. None of them fucking played. Anyway, enough of the rant on that. But I agree with Wayne. Daniel Lee, the only reason that saves Sonny on the wing a little bit is that he's 2-footed. That's all, though. And Boris, well, he's too nice. That's why we have the nut jobs in Madders and Romero as the vice captains to use the teeth. The problem is we didn't have them two players on the pitch yesterday, Boris. We had Mr. Nice Man Sonny, and that was it. All the horrible people weren't playing yesterday because, you know, posturing and gesturing and all that. We can all do that, but does that make you a horrible person? Because we can all do the posturing and gesturing, and, you know, you could have got that from Højbjerg yesterday, but you didn't. You could have got that from Dyer, which you probably did, but he's not horrible enough, you know, just gesturing and posturing. You know, at the end of the day, you need people that will battle for each other. And as for the Hill situation, Hill, I'll go back to it, like all the small, slight Spanish players that have gone before him, he's a very good player. You can play without having to be a muscle job. But even in the players that I'm talking about, even they had more fucking bottle than these fucking players that played yesterday. The slight Spanish players, they've got more bottle than the players that played yesterday in midfield.
I'll take this off of here. Boom. But yeah, Boris Britt was saying.
Yeah, he said something else. Then he said, "Yeah, well, if he gave Porro the vice captain, I think the ref might have changed his tune."
I get what you're saying. Boris. Very good to have you here as always. But guys, this was meant to kind of be a bit of a therapy session to get, you know, our true feelings out about the match yesterday. Also, we now know exactly where Jose stands. He's been hiding his stance a little bit to not appear negative, but don't have to worry about that around here, man. We're all friends.
Who scored?
Let me look it up.
Someone scored.
It hasn't updated online yet because I think they're VAR checking it. So I have to wait 1 second.
No, it's not come up on my phone, but I can hear it.
Erling Haaland goal. Chelsea 0, Man City 1. Yeah. There he goes. I think you might retain that number 1 spot. You might retain it. But yeah, hey, guys, we are going to wrap this up. We just want to, as always, it was a Haaland penalty. Nice. Interesting. Thank you, Boris. But guys,
Boris, a goal's a goal. And although City will go 3 points clear for us, I don't think we should even look at that. For me, it's just I want Chelsea to lose. And it's not because of Pochettino. I just don't like Chelsea because of who they are, the people they were back in the 70s. When they were very
gas
right-wing.
Chamber hissing sounds.
They were right. They were a very right-wing National Front mob back in the 70s, and obviously then in the early 2000s when that Russian whore came with his pilfered money, state money, and you know they had no history before then, Chelsea, and all of a sudden they ended up winning fucking 70 million trophies because of fucking.
Everybody the poor people in Russia's money that was taken by
vile means. So I'm going to say to me. So yeah, for me, Chelsea got to lose.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, well, everyone, thank you again so much for joining us today. This was a Sunday show. We usually have them on Saturdays. There was some stuff that came up yesterday, so thank you to everyone who has tuned in. Again, we'll say one more time: if you're watching on Talking Ball, could you head over to LTL Cockerell, like and subscribe over there? And the opposite, if you're watching on LTL Cockerell, head on over to Talking Ball and like and subscribe over there. Just helps us both out, and we both really appreciate it. Again, want to throw out that this what we're doing couldn't happen without you guys in the chat, so thank you so much. And I wanted to say one final big up to Chris Peters, Wayne Bonner, Soji for God, Mia W., Adrian Stroka, and Queen Ellie, our Patreon members. Big love to you guys. And yeah, I'll be in touch with you guys about a Tuesday show. Everybody on the Patreon, be looking at those messages. It comes to you via email, actually. So watch your emails, guys. And we'll be in touch about a Tuesday show. Anything else to say before we head out, Jose?
Again, in Ange, I trust. And come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. All right. Bye, everybody.
And James Madison.
Yeah, and now we play you out with a bit of the player we are missing.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.